Gang, things are heating up here. Joe Biden has been officially named as an accused criminal in the Ukrainian court. That's the latest twist, this scandal that's rocking Biden's fledgling campaign at its core. We're going to take a look at the court order, how the mainstream Marxist media is trying to spin it, bless their hearts, and how such pathetic efforts at damage control are collapsing as the scandal spins out of control. You're not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Steve here with you. I certainly hope you're all having a safe and sound week. If this is your first time here at this channel and you're looking for a daily white pill of encouragement to help you counter all the nonsense, the ridiculous fake news that's out there from the corporatist, globalist media, then you have found your oasis in this channel. We post 2 videos a day analyzing current events and some super awesome conservative trends so that you can live in the present in light of even better things to come. We help you to think better so you can feel better. So make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. You're going to absolutely love being a regular part of this channel and interacting with this wonderful network of conservatives from all over the world. So let's begin with our video chat question for the day. Do you believe that Joe Biden did in fact engage in a quid pro quo? Let us know in the comment section below. Do you believe that Joe Biden used government funds for personal favors? Did he engage in a quid pro quo? Let us know what you think. Because more and more pundits are coming out and saying that this quid pro Joe scandal may indeed bring the whole fledgling Biden campaign down. It gets juicier and juicier by the day. But first, let's give a huge shout out to the sponsor of this video, and that's IdentiSafe. Now, with all the online fraud that's out there, the need to protect yourself from identity theft, it's frankly never been more important. And this is where our friends at IdentiSafe comes in, because they offer identity protection for as little as $4 a month. They provide access to credit monitoring, social security monitoring, credit score tracker, up to $1 million in insurance. So don't wait another minute. Click on the link below and sign up for free. In fact, it's free for the first 30 days. And they're also offering a 50% off discount to new customers. Don't wait. Click on that link below and get IdentiSafe to make sure your identity is safe today. All right, we've got some amazing developments going on with this whole Biden scandal. The latest now is the revelation that late last month, a Ukrainian district court judge ordered that former Vice President Joe Biden be formally and publicly listed as the alleged perpetrator of a crime committed against a prosecutor, Viktor Shokin, who had filed a suit that he was unlawfully fired because he was investigating the corrupt natural gas company Burisma, where Biden's son was a board member. Shokin filed the suit, I believe, back in 2016, shortly after he was fired by the Ukrainian former president, and frankly, as I understand, rather corrupt president, the Ukrainian Petro Poroshenko. And a Ukrainian court did in fact conclude that there was sufficient evidence to investigate Shokin's claim that Biden pressured Poroshenko to get rid of Shokin by withholding $1 billion in U.S. loan guarantees, which Shokin argued was in effect an obstruction of justice, since it was an unlawful interference in Shokin's investigation of the corrupt natural gas company that Hunter Biden was a part of. Now, what's interesting here is that when the probe into Shokin's complaint was first opened up, officials refused to publicly name Biden as the alleged perpetrator of the crime. They listed him as an unnamed American, obviously one with significant influence, no question, but unnamed, right? This Ukrainian judge overseeing the probe ruled that was improper for whatever reason. It was improper to maintain the anonymity of the accused, so he has had Biden formally unmasked, as it were, as the perpetrator, the alleged perpetrator. As far as the Ukrainian court is concerned, Joe Biden is an accused criminal. He is the accused perpetrator in a criminal investigation, right? Investigating the alleged crime of obstruction of justice in the interference of government probe into the corrupt dealings at a company where Biden's son sat as one of the board of directors. Now, we did a video on this yesterday that you may want to watch to get yourself, up to speed here on what's going on. But the upshot is, last year, when the whole impeachment fiasco broke out among the Democrats against Trump, a video surfaced where Joe Biden boasted that when he was vice president, he demanded the Ukrainian federal prosecutor be fired, or else Ukraine would not get $1 billion in aid. Now, of course, What he failed to mention when making this boast is that this prosecutor was also in the process of investigating Biden's son and his role in the Ukrainian gas company's corruption. So as much as the mainstream Marxist media has done their best to spin this, there's really no way around this. There's no question over what Biden did. He publicly boasted demanding the removal of a federal Ukrainian prosecutor, or he would withhold $1 billion in aid. But of course, he failed to mention that this prosecutor was investigating his son and his son's role in a corrupt Ukrainian company. A clear quid pro Joe. But now, as of just a day or so ago, we actually have some leaked audio of what appears to be the very conversation that he had with then President of Ukraine, Poroshenko. And on that recorded conversation, which as I understand it has since been verified over the last 24 hours as authentic, on that recorded conversation, you hear Biden say explicitly that now that the new prosecutor general is in place, we're ready to move forward to signing the $1 billion loan guarantee. Now that you have done that, quo, we're now ready to do this, quid. Right. Now remember, the Democrats tried to impeach Trump over this very thing, right? Using public monies to reward a government for enacting personal political favors. That's precisely what the Democrats and the mainstream Marxist media demanded Trump be impeached over, which of course was all nonsense. But again, just like the whole Tara Reade sexual assault allegations against the backdrop of Christine Ford's accusations against Judge Brett Kavanaugh a couple years back, we have a complete and total asymmetry in outrage and accountability. Now the media's argument, the Marxist media's argument for the difference between the two situations, it really comes down to this. State officials were very concerned about what Trump did with the Ukrainian president. But those same state officials are not at all concerned about what Biden did. That bottom line, as I understand, is what the media is arguing. That's the difference as far as the Marxist media is concerned. State officials had no problem with what Biden did, but they had a big problem with what Trump did, and so should we. And for the Marxist media, that should settle it for all of us. Move on. Just one problem, of course. What they call state officials, we call the deep state. What they call state officials or the state, we call the swamp. This is precisely what a corrupt cesspool does. It rewards and it punishes in accordance with its own advantage, not in accordance with any sense of objective legal standard. Let me ask you, how can we expect state government officials to be held accountable to any objective legal standard when they're the ones who get to define that standard? The mainstream Marxist media knows how the game is played. And it's precisely because they are the primary perpetrators of the game. They provide the legitimation needed for such a deep state swamp to continue to function. Because in the end, they all get rich off of it. It's one big business model, political class business model, where our political and economic and media elite enrich themselves at our expense. And it's only contributing, frankly, to the explosion in the growth for the populist movement here and throughout the world, of which Trump is the beneficiary. But it's growing increasingly apparent that the media's attempt to circle the wagons and do damage control for Biden and the Democrats is failing miserably. The Republican-controlled Senate has indeed begun investigating the role of Hunter Biden at Burisma, the corrupt Ukrainian gas company. And they are now issuing subpoenas. Specifically, the chairman of the Senate committee has issued a subpoena to Blue Star Strategies, a Democratic public relations firm that did consultation work for Burisma. Surprise, surprise. And the allegations here is that Blue Star Strategies sought to leverage Hunter Biden's position on the board in order to influence matters at the Obama-era State Department. And in the Ukraine, the new president, President Zelensky, who's a good guy, he's been called the Ukrainian Trump, because he ran on a populist platform, drained the swamp in his own nation. He and Trump are very close. He announced at a news conference that the contents of the leaked taped conversations between Biden and Poroshenko that we featured in our previous video, they qualify as possibly, quote, high treason. Those are his words. He's not kidding. So, of course, we're going to be keeping a very close eye on how things develop here. But as things stand, there seems to be little question that the Ukrainian scandal that was supposed to bring down President Trump a few months back may ironically be the very scandal that brought down one of the Democrats' own. Now, before you go, you will definitely want to check that video out. I just uploaded it on the leaked recording that's rocking the Biden campaign at its core. You'll hear for yourself precisely that recording and how it's disrupting Biden's already fledgling campaign. You're going to absolutely love it. So make sure to click on the link, and I will see you over there. God bless.